abide by all these agreements and to produce another new map, this is something which is not acceptable. This is like, you know, claiming territories by force, and it could be considered as a hostile attitude, and also it could be a violation of Resolution 2046. Since I'm talking about the map also, for us, even the mention for the map which was produced by Mr. Mbeki, which included the area 14 miles below Bahr al-Arab, and that has been also referred to in the Resolution 2046. For us, it is not the final status of that disputed area. The status of that area is yet to be determined and decided upon through negotiations. Not only that, let me tell you also, the map which the government of the South produced and endorsed by their Council of Ministers violates the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, and it violates the maps which the United Nations missions have worked on their basis when UNIMID and UNIMIS were there, which considered the center line of the international border is the line agreed upon, that is 1st January 1956. In international law, the map, if any party just draw a map and claims that this is the map which shows their territorial integrity, or the territorial lands or the territories of their region, will never be considered unless that map is supported by agreements. This is known in international law, is prima facie evidence. If you produce a map which is not supported by any agreement, it will have no value and it will not be considered. So I would like to conclude by saying all the disputed areas which they include in their map, which was endorsed by the Council of Ministers of the South, for us is false and it's not accepted, and the disputed areas will remain disputed until we reach final agreement on them through negotiations. Last point, for us also, the inclusion of the area 14 miles below Bahr al-Arab in the map of Mr. Thabo Mbeki, for us, is still, it's still a disputed area, the status of which is to be determined by the negotiations. I will stop here and take a few questions.
Sure. Thanks, Ambassador Tafala. Pagan Amoum, the negotiator for South Sudan, he's, among other things, he said that he's disputed your position of that security has to be dealt with first, before Abiye, before oil. So I wanted to know, can you explain why he claims that this violates either the spirit or the letter of the resolution, that all of these items should be discussed at once? Why is it so important for Sudan that security be dealt with first and be resolved before anything else is discussed?
Mr. Pagan Amoum violated the letter and spirit of Resolution 2046 twice. When he addressed inflammatory rhetoric against high officials in Sudan. And here I would like to refer you to subparagraph 6 of operative paragraph 1 of the resolution, which calls on both parties to cease any inflammatory rhetoric. He has done this, and he has to be held responsible for that. Again, he tried to depict a false image when he says that, when he tries to belittle the importance of the security issues. Actually, it's not only the government of Sudan. the Resolution 2046 itself has given high priority to cessation of hostilities. It has given high priority of security issues. That is why it is only normal and logical if the two parties have to pave the way for any further negotiations to address the other pending issues, they have to finish with the security issues.
What about the Ambassador Nazario talked about the oil police, and I know that it's been reported that South Sudan thinks there's a Japanese investor that's going to pay for a new pipeline and basically shift all their oil transfer away from Sudan. So I know it's two separate issues. What's up with the oil police, and what do you think of this announcement by them that there's some Japanese investor to build a pipeline?
Regarding the oil police, it's a limited number of police found inside our territories, 100% in areas which are not disputed at all. They are outside Abiye. I have to make this very clear. And we kept them there just to protect our facilities from any aggression. Who would guarantee that tomorrow there will be no aggression against our territories like what had happened to Hidlij? This is my answer to his comment on the oil police. Regarding their options to build another pipeline, this is their decision and they are free to do that.
He also said, and Paganamun had said, and Ambassador Nazario gave more details, saying that they're alleging aerial bombardments in northern Bahr el-Ghazal state. And I mean, I've heard you before say, where's the evidence and stuff like that. I mean, is it something that you deny, and why? What's the source of this dispute about these bombardments?
From day one, we said we are fully committed to 2046. Before the adoption of Resolution 2046, they kept repeating this allegation of aerial bombardment. This is something which is not true. I have refuted this time and again, and I think everybody here in the Council discovered that this is just a fabricated allegation which the representative of the government of the South used to repeat from time to time.
I wanted to ask you one thing about the Sanctions Committee. I know that you've said before that the Sudan or Darfur Sanctions Committee, you'd filed a complaint that weapons had been carried by JEM into the territory of South Sudan and that they hadn't let Mr. Bryan or whoever the expert is in. Has there been any follow-up on that? Have they gone to see these weapons, or what's your statement on that?
Unfortunately, the Council has kept a blind eye on that. Yesterday, another group from Justice and Equality, the so-called Justice and Equality movement, they attacked a site of Abu Jabra in Sudan, and they killed a big number of employees and laborers who are working there in the oil field. And they took also about 15 trucks working in that field, and they crossed the borders and they went to the South, and they are received and assisted by the South. The ongoing violations from the South are there, and they are clear, and everybody knows about it. We think unless the Council comes with a strong position regarding these violations, this will not help the negotiation process.
I've asked the UN about this, but some NGOs have complained that 7 or 9 NGOs, it's unclear, have been told to leave. None of the disputed areas, a group called Goal, another one, Save the Children, of one of the European countries. Is it true that the Sudanese government has told these groups to leave, and if so, why?
We haven't, and I didn't hear about that. And no, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.